What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another WARFRAME video. So we got the last double credit weekend event for probably a really long time starting this Friday, and I thought it'd be a great time to do an updated Profit Taker farming guide. With the new changes today, you can knock out this Profit Taker in about 2 minutes, so let's hop right in. Before we do, though, make sure you sub to this channel, do daily WARFRAME video uploads. I'll be covering the new dev stream on Friday as well, alongside me doing some Profit Taker help runs with this build on stream. So come on, sub to the live stream as well if you want to get some free stuff and maybe some help with the Profit Taker. Alright, but let's help you right now with some builds on the Profit Taker. As far as what is new, as you know, because this is a mission where you have to have every element in the game, preferably, to do this as quickly as possible. What has changed in the last video like 6 months ago? Well, the 1999 update came out, and in it were some built-in magnetic mods. We got Magnetic Might, Magnetic Rush, and some other magnetic mods too. They give us built-in magnetic damage that does not combine, so we can do easier combos, and basically no more Tenant Diplos needed. I really didn't like the Tenant Diplos, so I'm pretty happy about that. As far as what we've replaced some of those items with, we got a new pistol, a new Elite On-Call crew member weapon, and I think that's basically it. Oh, also, depending how long ago the video was, now you can run any companion to get the doubling of credits. To any beast companion can double up the credits. So, for this build today, you can do these missions solo with Chroma to get lots and lots of credits. During the double credit weekend that will be starting on Friday, you'll be getting, I think it's like 1.4 million. They could go up to like 2 million if you get really, really lucky too. So, let's hop right into the builds. As you see the gameplay footage in the background, we are knocking out the PT. It looked like about 2 minutes, 10 seconds. So pretty decent. And that was, again, the first time I've been really doing this in a while because I want to make a new video on this. So as far as why Chroma's important, Chroma's fourth ability, Effigy, will double up credits that drop on the ground. And this spider drops a lot of credits. So you can double them up. And it'll also double them for your teammates too if they're close by. So very good stuff on that front. Let's hop into all the builds because this is a lot of builds to explain for this type of content. Okay, so here we are in the back rooms, and get ready to have every build explained to you. Let's start off with the first thing, the Chroma build itself. Now, I didn't really change it much from the previous video because this build works great, but first things first, we have everything Power Strength Shard on Chroma. Power Strength makes your damage buff from Vex Armor and also your damage buff from Elemental Ward stronger, and we've got Nourish on here from Grendel to put Viral on all weapons because we need every element in the game. This means we can hit that PT with Viral from any weapon at any time. For Chroma himself on the build, it is an extremely high power strength build. We got power strength, and some more power strength. A little bit of duration's nice too to make sure that the recast ability is as off because Chroma is mostly duration-based abilities. And also got Umbral Fiber, Umbral Vitality to increase the Umbral bonus and make Chroma more tanky too. Since the PT will throw out magnetic procs quite often, we got 100% magnetic immunity with Arcane Nullifier, and I've got Arcane Grace. If you're playing solo, you'll be getting hammered by missiles a lot. So this will help you regen and not die as much. Also, if you're not playing solo, you can probably change to a different arcane, like maybe Arcane Velocity or something. But either way, Holster Amp, we're swapping weapons so much this will buff our weapons. Also, we're on Toxin Chroma, so it will make it where we get Holster damage buff when we swap weapons too, and also a reload buff. Very, very nice for taking out this PT. Additionally, we've got Prime Shrifoot to not get knocked over, Energy Nexus for constant energy regeneration, and that's basically it. Now, if you want to make sure your Chroma is in the correct energy color, you go here and you check to make sure you have a greenish energy color. That's going to make you have the Toxin buff from Chroma to get reload speed and holster damage buff. Some other frames that are good for this are Volt, Mirage, I think Saren's pretty good too. Moving on to the first weapon here, we've got the Kuva Ogress. Now, this is used to shoot through the pylons for the Profit Taker fight from the outside, so you don't have to actually fly too close to the bubble. The big thing on here is just to make sure that you have the highest percentage possible. 60% is great. If you don't have that, try to work towards it maybe. As far as the build on the Ogress, we want to have maximum magazine size to shoot every pylon. I think there's like 6 pylons, so having a 6-round magazine is pretty much ideal. So you got magazine size here, and I think that's the only 2 magazine size mods we have on there. Nightwatch Napalm helps you burn those pylons down through the bubble, and then if you have a Riven, I'd say go for multi-shot, damage, elemental, magazine size could be okay too because we're buying for so much magazine size. But yeah, the big thing here, guys, is make sure you have a lot of damage on your Ogress. Crit does not matter, and just shoot through the pylon bubbles from the outside. The element regenerator does not matter at all. I've got a heat one on there, and you can have any element you want. Now here's a new thing: no more Sicarus. No more Diplos. I hated the Diplos. but we had to use it because it had built-in magnetic. So yes, basically throw this to the trash now. Even though it was like nice to have the built-in magnetic, we've got the Sicarus and Cardon. We could use Incarnons now. Why is the Sicarus and Cardon so good for this? Well, it's partially because the way this weapon fires. It's a burst fire pistol, and the way the PT works is that every time you cycle its shield, you want to keep damaging it afterwards. So burst fire guns are very, very good for this. Additionally, you got some pretty decent perks on here, like giving you increased magazine size and increased crit. Now, you don't need a Riven for this, but it has high Riven stats. If you want to do the exact same build, but you don't have a Riven, just throw out a Toxin mod there instead. Probably throw the 90, actually, if you can fit the 90 on there. That's going to be the exact same build with just a little bit less crit. Technically, I'm missing the crit damage mod too, but we have a little bit of crit damage here too. So yeah, if you don't have a crit damage mod, you're going to want to throw that on there somewhere, or a Toxin mod. So maybe you can take off Lethal Torrent for crit damage and then put the Toxin mod here. You have to change it a little bit without a Riven, but either way, we've got this on here with Prime Expel Corpus, and our elemental combo on here is going to be Heat, Impact Puncture / Magnetic Corrosive Radiation. So we got Nourish 2 will be viral as well. So lots of things are covered here, and we don't need the Diplos anymore because we have Magnetic Might coming from the 1999 tile set, or 1999 Quest, giving us magnetic damage, and Accelerated Isotope coming from the Kavia tile set, giving us radiation. So good stuff there. We also got Auto Reload with Eject Magazine, and yeah, just basically spam shots at the PT and knock down its shield really fast. It's nice to have this. Now some other options would be maybe you technically don't need to unequip the Diplos. You want to use the Diplos still, you can, the previous build, but yeah, the Sicarus feels great for this. I highly recommend it. Some other options, maybe the Latum could be okay. Maybe the... if you want to go in Incarnons, this is probably the best one because it has good magazine too, but yeah. You can still use the old stuff if you technically want to. But yeah, that's technically been changed for the better with this patch. Next, moving on to the Zaw. Any Zaw will do, but the big thing for Zaws is to make sure that you have the right build on there. So we want to make sure we have Exodia Contagion Arcane. Now, you might be like, hey, where's the blast damage at? The Exodia Contagion Arcane has built-in blast damage on it. So you could throw blast damage onto this little card over here, and it would be basically like we're actually doing blast damage. And also, the viral that's built in here does not affect the Exodia Contagion Explosion as far as PT is concerned. So that's why Nourish is also quite helpful. So as far as our build here, we've got Toxin, and we've got basically just Toxin. So there's Corrosive technically from Exposure too for casting abilities, but we got Corrosive in our pistol. So as far as the things we're not covering on this build, oh, and also if you don't have a Riven, just throw like an attack speed mod there, I guess. The only elements we don't have covered on our entire setup is to be gas and cold, but I've got a new weapon for the Elite On-Call crew member to cover those, and it actually has better AI than what the Kuvas are from the previous videos. So basically just think here, though, is you just want to use Exodia Contagions, spam Exodia Contagions. This should cover almost every element for the PT. So yeah, now let's go over the 3 elements we don't have, because it's actually like 2.5 elements we don't have. But yeah, first let's show the Adarza Kavat. This thing gives you more crit. Not really necessary, but does help. We've got Prosperous Retriever giving you double credits 18% of the time. As far as the other mods on here, Synth Deconstruct and Synth Fiber auto-reload your weapons. Tech Enhance makes the crit buff of Cat's Eye last longer. And Reinforced Bond should basically be always active, giving you more fire rate too. Since we're on Chroma with lots of HP and armor, we've got Link Fiber and Link Vitality to make the cat more tanky. And Tech Assault in case it dies to come back from the dead. The claws don't really matter, but we technically got Tenacious Bond viability, even though we're not really even running Tenacious Bond. You could technically run Tenacious Bond if you wanted to, but I didn't really feel the need for it. Alright, so as far as another element we're not covering, we've actually got our Operator covering one of the elements here with the our Operator Arcane for your amp. So Virtuous Surge, on hit, converts your amp to electric damage, and that's how you're going to cover electric damage on this setup. So you basically use Void Strike, and you'll blast down the electric shield in one bullet, and it's actually quite powerful. So there's other ways to cover electric, but for this build, I'm going to be using that method, and it works quite well in practice. Now, as far as the way you're going to damage the spider's legs, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. So the main way I do is I use the Void Rig. So I summon in my Void Rig. The build does not matter on the actual mech itself. That's what I got. But the thing that does matter is to be the actual Archwing gun you use on the spider. I've got the Corvus Normal Non-Prime. Corvus Prime is like an Arcoplasmor shot. Corvus Normal is like a pellet shotgun. Here's the issue, though. If you want to one-shot the PT, you kind of need to have a Riven. The reason this Riven is so helpful is because this has Bane of the Corpus. It has increased damage to Corpus, and the PT is considered a Corpus But if we look at the mods we have available, there is no anti-Corpus mod for Archwing guns. So if you want to get an anti-Corpus or anti-Grenadier mod for that matter, you must roll a Riven for those stats. So you can use the Corvas normal, you can use the Velocity, this like sniper, but if you want to use a it's not meta, but a non-Riven setup, you can do a Mazelon. And don't even bother with the mech. You can just call it down. So the PT nowadays is weak to magnetic on its legs. It used to be radiation back in the day, but DE did change the way these enemies are resisting damage and stuff. So you want a mod for magnetic damage to damage the legs now. And we've got a magnetic build on here. So electric mod, cold mod makes that magnetic. And as far as the rest of the build, it's just fire rate and crit pretty much. This will not insta-kill the PT, but it will be pretty good, too. Just keep in mind, when you're using the Mazelon, you're basically using a weapon that does not one-shot the legs. There's a thing called a phase skip that can happen, which means you won't get all the loot. So just be aware of that. But yeah, overall, I recommend the Corvus normal with a hard-hitting magnetic build like this. If you don't have the Corvus normal, like I said, just use that Mazelon I just showed, and hopefully it's good. Hopefully you don't phase skip and lose the loot. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of things to explain here. Let's talk about a couple other things here at the end. So if you want to do this, what are the last couple pieces you need to get to finish this up? You need to get the Elite On-Call crew member preferably, and the new weapon I've gotten them is the Opticore Vandal. The Opticore Vandal has built-in magnetic damage, and we're using that in the combination of the better AI of the On-Call versus the Czar. The Czar is great for AoE, but yeah, we've got gas and cold on here with technically magnetic too. No, Rivens don't work on the on-call crew member, but yeah, the AI of this thing is feeling improved versus the Czar, so I'd recommend something like this. You definitely don't need Prime Stabilizer, that was more of a meme, but yeah, high fire rate, gas cold, and then you will have every single element covered between the electric from your amp, the gas cold from the Opticore Vandal, and all the other things we showed. You can knock out that PT really fast. Now, again, comparing this to the Infested Cache, like new method thing, is this better? Is this worse? I do think that it is definitely better if you get it down, but the thing about the Infested Cache is a lot easier builds. Like, there's no complicated builds needed for the Infested Cache. So you could definitely farm that for the weekend if you want to, but I just want to make sure I did my due diligence getting you guys out a more recent Profit Taker video. And hopefully I showed it. Oh, before we end, I didn't show the Itzel. So let's go ahead and show the Itzel to end it off with. The Archwing I use to fly around here, because the Itzel is technically faster than the other one. So where is that screen at? So Itzel right here, the actual Archwing. As you can see right here, it's got 1.2 sprint speed, where the Elytron has 0.9. So it's literally faster than other Archwings. We've got this on the build. So Hyperion Thrusters for movement speed, system I mean, it's just, these are the mods. There's not really that many mods for Archwings, to be honest. So big one you want is Hyperion Thrusters, though. So hope it's fun helping you guys. I'll see you on stream soon. Probably tonight. Maybe not tonight. But I'll definitely see you later this week with Profit Taker Farming Guide help and also dev stream over you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you next time. Peace.